Welcome to the Three Championship Drive podcast, hosted by me, Lance Caporossi. You know, I'm riding a high right now, and that's because we had a cookout at our house, had the family over. So my brother-in-laws, their wives, my mother-in-law. Just just a good time with company. And I feel like I did a great job on the grill today. I like to grill. It's a fun way of cooking for me. I got a lot of clients and a lot of friends that are into this art form, as I like to call it. And I know I did a good job because when everybody was around the table eating, it was just no talking, but just the sound of people enjoying good food. And people that cook, people that grill regularly, you know what I'm talking about. You know the feeling of when everybody, you seem to have pleased everybody, and that's the best feeling when it comes to cooking. When everybody seems to be enjoying themselves at the table and enjoying their plate, that they're going up for seconds immediately, that's a great feeling for me. That's a championship win. This was game 7 and I closed it out. That's what I did behind the grill. And I'm, like I said, I'm riding the high and I feel really good about it. So yeah, grilling, I love it. It's that time of the year. First and foremost, let me just say this is a Pistons podcast, so we are going to talk about the Pistons. But at the beginning, I like to share a little bit about my life. I like to share the wins. I even like to share the losses with people. Why not? Helps us all grow. Jalen Duren is seeking $40 million, which would be roughly 25% of the Pistons' salary cap. But multiple NBA executives believe Jalen Duren will remain with the Detroit Pistons, signing somewhere around the mid-30s. And this comes from Mike A. Scotto of Hoops Hype. Got to tell you, I feel a little relieved. This is probably the best news that could be coming out right now when it comes to Jalen Duren. It feels like a lot was up in the air. We're having sign and trade rumors. We're all talking about like, okay, see you, Jalen Duren. We don't need you. Here's your bags. Get out the door. Here's your plane ticket. Have a good time. And I don't know. I feel like most of that is just coming from an angry place. Like we feel a little hurt by Jalen Duren because we supported him, and to hear maybe there could be a sign and trade, the dude kind of just straight up fucks with you. You show a lot of passion for a guy. You're at the arena. Some people are buying his jerseys, seeking his autograph, whatever, seeking a picture. We all support him. Then we get trade rumors. No, it hurts a little bit. So I don't really know. I think once this news clears, you'll see how people really feel about Jalen Duren. I feel good about mid-30s. I think that's a fair contract for Jalen Duren. I mean, I would rather do low 30s, but I feel like mid-30s is a good compromise because, again, he is a 20-10 guy. Regular season matters. You have to play the regular season to get to the playoffs. He helps. He helped during the regular season. You could even argue that he benefited from some guys being hurt all year of why he made an All-NBA third team, but he is an All-NBA player. That will be attached to his name until the end of time. He's a good player. Mid-30s is fair. I want to see growth. I want to see improvement. I want to see him become more of a shooting threat on the offensive end. Like that's what I want to see from Jalen Duren. I love the lobs. I love the highlight plays. I love the dunks. I just want to see a little finesse. That's it. I feel like a jump shot would help. It opened things up for Cade. It opened things up for Jenkins, Duncan Robinson, Tobias Harris if he resigns, Ron, Ausar. I mean, it just benefits everybody of him having a jump shot. But it also benefits him. Defenses have to respect it. Couple dribbles, spin, you're at the rim, you do your thing. We've seen it before from Jalen Duren. Jump shot helps. Yeah, mid-30s is the best case. I hope it doesn't push 40s. I don't want to see him eat up that much of the cap space. I know that that contract will look better a couple of years down the line just because the salary cap is always increasing. I understand that. But for the time being, I want to still have cap room for the Pistons to be able to make moves. I don't want this to be it. I don't want to be a second round playoff team. I want to be Eastern Conference Finals competing for championships. So tying this much, 25% of your salary cap, yeah, man, some people don't bat an eye. It's not a huge deal, but when you could tag it with Cade Cunningham's contract, yeah, it becomes a little worrisome. Your hands become a little more tied. That knot gets a little tighter when you pay that much money to one player who is a one-way player. He's just an offensive threat, but he's catching lobs, doing putbacks. Like, he relies on Cade to generate offense for him. So he's a one-way player. He's a one-ticket player. And that's it for Jalen Duren. Like, I don't want to see 40s. I'm cool with mid-30s. The anxiety, the fear, that all goes out the window at mid-30s slightly for me. The Pistons made a move. We all know they traded Isaiah Stewart for 3 second-round picks to Memphis. Hopefully a bigger move is on the horizon. Fingers crossed. But they made another move, and that was Isaiah Joe. They traded two future second-round picks to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I believe it's 2030 and 2031. Either way, second-round picks for Isaiah Joe, who, I love his game. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to share his numbers right now. This is all from Basketball Reference. This past season, he averaged 11 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 1 assist, 0.7 steal. We don't round up if it's not at the 1 yet. 45.5% from the field, 42% from the three-point line on 6 attempts, and 89% from 2 free throw attempts per game. Like, he's a shooter. This guy is a shooter. He's a little bit taller than I thought, too. They list him at 6'4". That kind of blew my mind just a little bit. I thought he was 6'2". So 6'4", not bad. I don't think the trade of Isaiah Joe is because Trajan Langdon and JB Bickerstaff are looking at him like he could be the savior and the number 2 next to Cade Cunningham. I've seen a lot of that from some Pistons fans, and that's pretty funny because he is a damn good player. But like, I've seen things like he's the next Nickeil Alexander Walker. He's the next Nah. I think you got to temper your expectations. I think there's a little more to Isaiah Joe's game. I think with a few extra possessions and playing maybe 28, 30 minutes per game, he can score more points. I think the efficiency dips a little bit. I mean, if you look at his per 100 possessions stats on Basketball Reference, like, it is incredible. Like, he's averaging 25 a game. And he's taking 14 3-pointers and hitting 6 of them if you keep the same efficiency. But we all know if you're playing more positions, you're playing more minutes, efficiency is most likely to take a slight dip, if because you're playing more possessions, you're going to get tired. Like, we'll get into this. Like, let me just, I don't want to go all over the place when I'm talking about Isaiah Joe. What should we expect? Like, what is his role in Detroit? Now, look, like I just said, I don't think he's a number 2. I don't think that's in his bag. I think he could have a similar role in Detroit. Like, he's just a floor spacing, moving without the ball, movement shooter for Cade Cunningham. I don't think they're going to ask for him to create. Like, he's very effective moving without the ball, whether it's from the three-point line or attacking the rim. You can go watch his stuff on YouTube. This dude doesn't stop. Like, low 20s makes a lot of sense. And when you watch him play and you see 21 minutes per game, okay, I can see why the efficiency is kind of through the roof for Isaiah Joe. What happens if his role increases? I would imagine he would take a slight hit efficiency-wise. Like, I'm going to pull a few things up. When he was on the floor and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wasn't on the floor, and Isaiah Joe was forced to play without him, his efficiency took a dip. It went from 45 to 43% from field goal, and then three-point percentage went from 42 to 40. Now you're probably telling yourself, like, look, that's not that big of a deal. That's only 3% either way. Like, I'm not worried about that. That's not that big of a deal. But what happens when that's just him playing without Shai. That still is the same amount of minutes per game. So what happens when he's asked to take on a bigger role? That efficiency might dip to maybe the high 30s, which isn't that big of a deal, but you're not getting the elite shot maker if he takes on a larger role. That is a concern I have for Isaiah Joe. when the conversation that is brought up to me is, do you see him as the number 2 player in Detroit? No, I don't. Even though he has a great guard's name in Isaiah Joe, 2 Pistons legends first names into one. Like, you never know. Maybe in Detroit some magic happens and he does become that number 2. But when I watch him play and I see the numbers, I think we'll see a less efficient Isaiah Joe in an increased role, if he even plays an increased role. But like I said, I could see him playing a similar role in Detroit. Some of the worries I have is how much attention he will get in Detroit. Because last season, well, pretty much the last 4 years, he's played with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Hartenstein, Chet, A.J. Mitchell, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso. Some guys that do, Case and Walls, guys that do take attention away from him. I mean, you go and watch him play, he is largely forgotten about when he is playing with all of those guys on the floor. I can even pull up some stats for you guys. I was looking at this earlier. 65% of his three-pointers were catch and shoot, which he shot 43%, which we already talked about. He will get a lot of catch and shoot opportunities in Detroit. I'm not really worried about that. 5 of his three-pointers per game were catch and shoot threes. The other thing I noticed is he rarely dribbles. 66% of his three-pointers come with no dribbling. 70% of his shots are without him dribbling, which, again, great movement shooter. When he is wide open, so we're talking 6 feet or more, this according to NBA.com, he shot 47% from 3. Like, I don't need to tell you how absolutely lethal this guy is from the three-point line. Like, whether it's right on the line or 28 feet back, like, he is a threat from everywhere. Like, I am so excited about Isaiah Joe coming to Detroit, but I am keeping it realistic. Like, I don't think he's the number 2. I don't think he's I don't think he's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I don't see that in his game. I do think his scoring could increase, but man, I worry because I don't know if he's going to get the same amount of open looks in Detroit. Like, it worked for Duncan Robinson, but Duncan Robinson's like 6'7", 6'8", somewhere around there. Isaiah Joe, I did list his height at 6'4". I'm still questioning that, though. Like, I don't believe he's 6'4". He's probably closer to like 6'2". I'm just saying, like, the NBA, they like to, when it comes to size, they like to inflate it just a little bit. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Okay, Dwight Howard wasn't 6'11", he was 6'9". Still impressive. Anyways, I'm excited about Isaiah Joe. I'm just warning Pistons fans, just please keep it realistic about Isaiah Joe. Like, let's not get mad at him the moment he has a shooting drought. Let's not do that. Let's not get upset. Let's not call for his head. Let's not ask for him to be traded. Let's give him some time, because I do think in the right role, and it's going to be a different role here in Detroit than it was in Oklahoma City, we're still going to get a fantastic player, and I just cannot wait for the season to start. So the price for Trey Murphy is 3 first-round picks at least, according to Jake Fisher. Now, say what you want about Jake Fisher, whether he's reliable, whether you can count on him, or whatever, but the dude tweets, okay? Like, the dude puts things out, and this happens to be one of those tweets he put out. 3 first-round picks. Like, that doesn't seem like, to me, a lot when I just sit down and first hear the news or hear the rumor about 3 first-round picks. I'm like, with a team like Detroit, like, how good are the first-round picks even going to be? But there are a few things that I do worry about when it comes to trading 3 first-round picks. And one of them is the stipend rule. If I'm reading this right, like, I knew you couldn't trade back-to-back picks, but it would pretty much handcuff the Detroit Pistons from making trades for, like, I think the next 4 to 6 years when it comes involving first-round picks. Like, that kind of sucks. That seems like quite a bit of time, really, to being able not to be able to package those in a trade. Like, I understand Trey Murphy is a good player. He's a great two-way player. I've talked him up quite a bit. It's just the flexibility with your roster if you do that with Trey Murphy. Like, not to mention, if somehow you're able to keep Jalen Duren and Ausar while adding Trey Murphy. I know he's on a team-friendly contract, like a great contract for his skill set. But when you bring that in, and then he will be due for an extension here soon too, it kind of makes me want to pump the brakes a little bit on this, just because I want the first-round pick flexibility, just because I don't think the Pistons are a championship team. So that's what makes me nervous. Like, if you're not a championship team and that window's not open, I don't want to make a win now move. And I'm not saying trading for Trey Murphy is an automatic championship move. It's not what I'm saying. But trading 3 first-round picks for one player is a win now move. And the more I sit with this and the more I look at Trey Murphy and what he can bring to the Detroit Pistons, and it is a lot. It is a lot that he brings. Like I said, he's a two-way player. It's just, since it's not a win-now player, because I don't believe the championship window is open, I think the Pistons have to fill a few more holes. It's just, I don't want to make it. Like, I don't want to trade 3 first-round picks. I'd rather save that draft capital for a win-now player. And that, I believe, is better than Trey Murphy, and I believe that can potentially happen. But here's why I would make the trade. That was my reason for not making the trade, was it's a lot of draft capital. I want to keep those future assets because this isn't a win-now team. That is a win-now move. But here's why I would make the trade. The draft picks are gambles. You have no idea. You have an idea of who you're going to draft. You have to depend on development, environment, coach. There's a lot that factors in whether a player will make or break in an organization. So it's a gamble. And Trey Murphy is proven. I mean, he's a 20 per game scorer, averages 4 assists. He can rebound. He plays defense. He has active hands. He can block shots. He can play in transition. Like, he overall is a great player. He would be a fantastic third, sometimes second option alongside Cade Cunningham. He opens a lot of things up for those guys. Jalen Duren, he benefits from having Trey Murphy. Ausar Thompson benefits from having Trey Murphy. Isaiah Joe, Ibuka, Dennis, everybody benefits from having Trey Murphy. It's just not a win-now move. But like I'm already bringing up, elite spacing, like I just said, it opens up everything for the guys. Like, it's just, he brings so much to the team. It's just not a win-now move. That's all that I have. That's the reason I'm making the trade for Trey Murphy. He's a very good to great player that plays both sides, and he could really help and benefit this team. I'm just not trading 3 first-round picks because it's not, the championship window isn't open for the Detroit Pistons. This would be a move in that direction. It's just not 3 first-round picks worth, in my opinion. There's one other thing I want to talk about. And it comes to Ibuka. I know I've talked about him a lot on this podcast the last couple of episodes, just because, I mean, the trade's fresh. I mean, the draft is fresh. I've been watching him every day because I got nothing better to do other than watch my kids. And sometimes, dad needs a little time to himself. And I'm watching Ibuka highlights. So why not? But what I don't say I want to warn. No, I am. I want to warn Pistons fans. Temper your expectations on him. Just, I see guys saying he's going to start alongside Cade Cunningham day one. I say that I see people saying he's already better than Sasser and Jenkins. Now, we don't know. Like, I mean, he could bust out. He could not perform well on an NBA team. I don't think that's the case for Ibuka, but that very well could be what happens. It could happen to any young player. So please, just temper them. Like, I don't want... The expectations are fun. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy them. But, like, I'm seeing things like now Cade's going to be playing off the ball because we got a more ball-dominant guard. We got a guy that can create offense for himself. So Cade, he's the 17th overall pick. Let's relax for just a second, please. It's just, holy crap. Oh, my gosh. He's going to replace Cade? Come on, guys. Let him play just a couple of minutes of summer league before we put these crazy expectations on there for him. Please, like, I'm begging you guys. Like, the conversation around him, it is exciting. I get it because it is fresh. Like, this feels, it's every year when you do the draft. Like, you could be drafting last in the first round. But you make that pick, and expectations just start going through the roof for these guys, for these young men. But for Ibuka, I just want... This has kind of been my thing. Like, ever since I started talking about the Pistons and getting involved in the community, like, I've always said just wait and just hang on just a little bit for these guys because, like, I know they say they don't hear the noise, but, dude, come on. Let's be real. They totally hear the noise. I think fans, we don't play a large part in the psyche of a player, but I do think we play a part in the psyche of a player. Like, I think they hear the noise. They see what's being said about them. It's only natural. They tell you all the time, dude, stay away from the comments. Stay away from the comments. No, sometimes you got to dive into the comments and you got to read a little about yourself and you got to figure out, how do I improve to be whatever for the people listening or watching? You know, like, that's where it comes from. Like, you need that feedback. And professional athletes, I'm sure they're the same way. Like, they have to be. I understand they can zone in and they can block out the noise, but, like, you're sitting there, you have the internet, you know where people talk about you. That's why I say let's just keep it down so we're not, like, going after his head late in the season or early in the season. I don't want to do that to Ibuka. I want to see him succeed in Detroit just like every other Pistons fan. I know we all want to see it, but if we're not going to see it, we're not going to see what we want to see unless we lower the expectations for Ibuka. Thank you guys for listening to the 3 Championship Drive podcast. Do me a favor, hit subscribe or hit the follow button. But more importantly, tell a Pistons fan.